Hey there, welcome back to another episode. Today we're diving into 10 powerful Stoic lessons that can seriously boost your confidence and help you face life's challenges with strength and inner peace. Stoicism isn't just about keeping calm, it's about mastering your mind and outlook on life so you can live with more purpose and self-assurance. If you've ever struggled with self-doubt or feel like life's challenges are constantly testing you, this episode is for you. If you find these lessons helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with friends and family who could use a little extra confidence in their lives. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Let's spread this Stoic wisdom. 1. Understanding true self-confidence in modern life. Confidence is often seen as a vital trait for success, but many of us misunderstand what true self-confidence actually is. Society tends to equate confidence with arrogance, bravado, or external markers of success like wealth, status, or social recognition. But Stoic philosophy teaches a very different view. True confidence comes from within, from a deep understanding and acceptance of yourself, rather than seeking validation from others. In Stoicism, confidence is about inner strength, not outward displays. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized that no one is free who is not master of himself. In other words, confidence is not about controlling others or your external circumstances, but about controlling your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. When you have mastery over yourself, no external circumstance can shake your confidence because it is rooted in something far deeper than appearances or external validation. Consider how often people feel insecure because they rely on external factors to define their confidence. Perhaps someone feels confident only when they receive praise or recognition from others, or when they achieve a certain level of success. But this kind of confidence is fragile. It can be easily shattered by criticism, failure, or comparison to others. Stoic philosophy encourages us to build a confidence that is resilient, one that doesn't depend on the opinions of others or the outcomes of our actions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This statement is a profound reminder that true confidence comes from recognizing the limits of what we can control. We can't control other people's opinions, the outcome of our efforts, or the events of the world. Thank you for listening, but we can control how we respond to them. This understanding is the foundation of Stoic confidence. Think of someone you know who seems truly confident. It's likely that their confidence doesn't come from what they have or what others think of them. It comes from their sense of self-assurance, their calm in the face of challenges, and their ability to stay true to their values no matter what. This is the kind of confidence that Stoicism helps us cultivate, one that is based on inner strength and clarity rather than external achievements. One powerful way to build this kind of confidence is through self-reflection. The Stoics believe that regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and emotions helps you understand yourself better and build self-awareness. When you take the time to reflect on your values, your strengths, and your weaknesses, you gain a clearer sense of who you are and what you stand for. This self-knowledge forms the bedrock of true confidence because it is based on a deep understanding of yourself rather than on external validation. For example, think about a time when you faced a difficult situation and felt unsure of yourself. Maybe you were worried about what others would think or whether you would succeed. But if you took a step back and reminded yourself of your values and the things you could control, you likely found a sense of calm and confidence in knowing that you were doing your best regardless of the outcome. This is the kind of inner confidence that Stoicism encourages, one that doesn't waver in the face of uncertainty. Another aspect of Stoic confidence is the ability to accept failure and imperfection. Many people struggle with confidence because they're afraid of making mistakes or falling short of their goals. But the Stoics teach us that failure is not something to fear. It is an inevitable part of life and an opportunity for growth. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." In other words, the fear of failure often holds us back more than the failure itself. By embracing challenges and learning from our mistakes, we build resilience and strengthen our confidence. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, the famous inventor who faced countless failures before successfully inventing the light bulb. When asked about his many failed attempts, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 reasons and ways that won't work." This mindset reflects the Stoic approach to confidence, seeing failures not as defeats, but as valuable lessons that bring us closer to success. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding failure, but from knowing that you have the strength to keep going, no matter the obstacles. In conclusion, understanding true self-confidence is about shifting your focus from external validation to inner strength. Stoicism teaches us that confidence comes from mastering our thoughts and emotions, living according to our values, and embracing failure as part of the journey. When you stop relying on others to define your worth and start cultivating confidence from within, you become resilient, grounded, and unshakable in the face of life's challenges. 2. Knowing and living according to your personal beliefs. One of the most powerful ways to build confidence is to live in alignment with your personal beliefs. Stoicism teaches that living according to your own values and principles is the key to developing inner strength and self-assurance. When you know what you stand for and live your life based on those beliefs, your confidence grows naturally because you are grounded in a sense of purpose and clarity. Many people struggle with confidence because they lack a strong sense of who they are and what they believe in. They may find themselves constantly swayed by the opinions and expectations of others, unsure of what direction to take in life. But Epictetus reminds us, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." This quote speaks to the idea that confidence comes from knowing yourself and making decisions based on your own beliefs, rather than trying to fit into someone else's mold. Living according to your personal beliefs also protects you from the uncertainty and self-doubt that can come from trying to please others. When your actions are aligned with your values, you don't need to worry about external approval or whether you're making the right choice in the eyes of others. You can be confident that you are staying true to yourself, and that's what matters most. Consider someone who is confident in their values and beliefs. Perhaps they are faced with a difficult decision, like choosing between a high-paying job that doesn't align with their ethics or a more modest job that reflects their values. A person who lives according to their beliefs will confidently choose the path that aligns with their values, knowing that true success isn't measured by money or status, but by living in integrity. This kind of confidence doesn't come from external success. It comes from knowing that you're living authentically. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This Stoic wisdom emphasizes that the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world shape your experience of life. If your thoughts are rooted in truth, integrity, and purpose, your confidence will flourish. On the other hand, if you base your life on superficial values like fame, wealth, or the approval of others, your confidence will always feel shaky because these things are beyond your control. Living according to your beliefs also means standing firm in the face of criticism or opposition. There will always be people who disagree with your values or who try to push you in a different direction. But when you are clear about what you believe, it becomes much easier to stand your ground with confidence. Seneca advised, as long as you know you are living according to your principles, don't let criticism from others shake you. Confidence doesn't mean you'll never face doubt or opposition. It means you trust yourself to make decisions based on your own values, even when others don't agree. Let's explore an example from daily life. Imagine you've decided to adopt a more minimalist lifestyle because you believe in living simply and sustainably. However, your friends and family may not understand your choice. They might question why you've stopped buying new clothes or why you're living in a smaller apartment. But because you're confident in your belief that minimalism aligns with your values of sustainability and intentional living, their opinions don't shake you. You remain firm in your decision because it's based on what matters to you, not on what others expect. Another aspect of this Stoic lesson is the idea that confidence grows when we act in accordance with our values, even in small, everyday decisions. You don't have to face major life-altering choices to practice this. Each day presents opportunities to align your actions with your beliefs. For instance, if one of your core values is kindness, you can build confidence by consistently treating others with compassion, even when it's difficult. Over time, these small acts of living in alignment with your values reinforce your sense of self and your confidence in who you are. Self-reflection plays a crucial role in living according to your beliefs. The Stoics believed that regular reflection on your thoughts, actions, and beliefs is essential for personal growth. By taking time to reflect on your values and how you're living them, you become more attuned to what's truly important to you. This clarity strengthens your confidence because it ensures that your life is being guided by principles you believe in rather than by external pressures or fleeting desires. Consider the Stoic practice of journaling, which Marcus Aurelius famously engaged in through his meditations. By writing down his thoughts and reflecting on his actions, he was able to continually assess whether he was living according to his beliefs. This practice not only helped him stay aligned with his values, but also built his confidence in his ability to make sound decisions based on those values. In conclusion, knowing and living according to your personal beliefs is a foundational Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. When you are clear about what you stand for and make decisions based on those values, you cultivate a deep sense of self-assurance. Stoicism teaches us that true confidence doesn't come from external achievements or approval. It comes from living authentically in alignment with our inner principles. By practicing self-reflection, standing firm in your beliefs, and making daily choices that reflect your values, you can build unshakable confidence in yourself and your path. 3. Focusing on what matters. One of the core lessons of Stoic philosophy is the ability to focus on what truly matters in life. In a world full of distractions from social media to material possessions, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. We often find ourselves chasing after things that don't bring lasting happiness or fulfillment, whether it's wealth, recognition, or the approval of others. Stoicism teaches us that confidence grows when we align our focus with what genuinely matters: our values, our inner peace, and the things within our control. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This quote highlights the importance of focusing on what truly brings value to our lives, rather than getting caught up in the endless pursuit of more. When you focus on what really matters, things like your personal growth, your relationships, and living according to your values, you begin to realize that external achievements or possessions are fleeting. Confidence comes from knowing that you're dedicating your time and energy to things that align with your purpose and values, not with societal pressures or superficial goals. Focusing on what matters also means learning to filter out distractions. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with information and noise, whether it's through advertisements, social media, or even the opinions of others. This constant influx can make it difficult to focus on the things that are truly important to us. The Stoics understood this well, which is why they emphasized the importance of simplicity and clarity of thought. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" This simple question helps us cut through the noise and refocus on what's essential. Consider how much time and energy we waste on things that don't really matter. Scrolling through social media, worrying about other people's opinions, or chasing after things that won't bring us lasting fulfillment. These distractions not only drain our energy, but also weaken our confidence because they pull us away from our core values. When we focus on what matters, we create a sense of direction and purpose that strengthens our self-assurance. We stop being swayed by external influences and start living according to our own internal compass. Seneca wrote extensively about the shortness of life and how important it is to focus our limited time on meaningful pursuits. In his work on the shortness of life, he reminds us that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This is a powerful reminder that confidence comes from using our time wisely by focusing on what brings us closer to our goals and values, rather than on distractions that pull us away. When we learn to focus our efforts on what truly matters, we begin to live with greater intention and confidence. For example, imagine you're working toward a personal or professional goal, but you find yourself constantly distracted by things that don't serve that goal. Maybe you're worried about how others perceive you, or you're spending too much time on activities that don't contribute to your growth. The Stoic approach would be to pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values and goals? If the answer is no, it's time to let go of those distractions and refocus on what really matters. Focusing on what matters also means prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics believed that true happiness and confidence come from inner peace, not external success. If you're constantly chasing external validation, you'll find that your confidence is always at the mercy of others' opinions or external outcomes. But when you focus on cultivating inner peace through practices like mindfulness, self-reflection, and gratitude, you build a sense of confidence that is unshakable because it comes from within. Let's consider the practice of mindfulness, which aligns closely with Stoic teachings. Being mindful means being fully present in the moment and focusing your attention on what's happening right now, rather than being caught up in worries about the past or the future. When you practice mindfulness, you're better able to focus on what truly matters in the present moment. Whether that's a conversation with a loved one, a task at work, or simply enjoying a quiet moment of reflection. This ability to be fully present strengthens your confidence because it allows you to engage deeply with life rather than being distracted by things that don't matter. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of letting go of what doesn't matter, specifically things outside of our control. Epictetus famously taught that we should focus only on what we can control and let go of everything else. This is a powerful lesson for building confidence because it teaches us to stop worrying about external circumstances or outcomes that are beyond our control. When you stop trying to control things you can't change, you free up your energy to focus on the things you can, your actions, your thoughts, and your decisions. For instance, many people feel insecure or anxious about the future because they're trying to control things that are outside their influence, whether it's other people's opinions, the economy, or the outcomes of their efforts. The Stoics would encourage us to focus instead on what we can control: our preparation, our attitude, and how we respond to challenges. By focusing on these internal factors, we build confidence because we know that we've done our best regardless of the outcome. In conclusion, focusing on what matters is a crucial Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. When you align your focus with your values, prioritize your inner peace, and let go of distractions and things outside of your control, you create a strong foundation for self-assurance. Stoicism teaches us that confidence doesn't come from external achievements or validation. It comes from knowing that we're dedicating our time and energy to what truly matters. By practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and simplicity, you can cultivate a deep sense of confidence and purpose that will guide you through life's challenges. 4. Practicing self-reflection. Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools we have for personal growth and for building lasting confidence. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on the practice of regular self-reflection because it helps us gain clarity about our actions, thoughts, and emotions. By reflecting on our experiences, we can learn from our mistakes, celebrate our successes, and make adjustments that align us more closely with our values and goals. The Stoic philosopher Seneca believed in the importance of daily reflection. He recommended that at the end of each day, we should take time to review our actions, asking ourselves what we did well, where we fell short, and how we can improve. This kind of reflection isn't about self-criticism or judgment. It's about learning and growing. Seneca wrote, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" This practice allows us to continuously refine our character and build confidence from knowing that we are always working to become better versions of ourselves. Through self-reflection, we develop a deeper understanding of who we are, what drives us, and what areas need attention. This clarity is key to building confidence because it gives us a roadmap for personal growth. When you know where your strengths lie and where you need to improve, you can make intentional choices to work on those areas, which boosts your self-assurance. Instead of feeling lost or unsure, you're empowered with the knowledge of how to move forward. Self-reflection also helps us identify patterns in our behavior that may be holding us back. For instance, if you notice that you tend to react defensively in certain situations or avoid taking risks because of fear, you can begin to work on changing those habits. By acknowledging these patterns through reflection, you take the first step toward breaking free from them. Over time, this leads to a greater sense of control over your actions and decisions, which naturally enhances your confidence. One of the key principles of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should focus on what's within our control and let go of everything else. Self-reflection helps us apply this principle to our daily lives by encouraging us to examine our reactions to the things that happen around us. For example, after a difficult conversation or challenging situation, you might ask yourself, how did I handle that? Did I focus on what I could control? Or did I let my emotions get the better of me? This kind of reflection helps you become more mindful of your reactions and teaches you to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. Self-reflection is not only about analyzing your actions, but also about examining your thoughts and emotions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently wrote about the importance of understanding his own mind. He believed that our thoughts shape our experience of life, and that by reflecting on them, we can cultivate a mindset that aligns with our values and goals. Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, you can identify negative patterns such as self-doubt, fear, or judgment, and work to replace them with more constructive and empowering beliefs. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle this," self-reflection allows you to challenge these thoughts and reframe them. Instead of letting negative thoughts erode your confidence, you can reflect on past experiences where you've succeeded or overcome challenges, and remind yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. This process of reframing negative thoughts is a powerful way to build resilience and self-confidence. Another benefit of self-reflection is that it helps you stay true to your values. The Stoics believed that living in accordance with your values is essential for a fulfilling and confident life. By regularly reflecting on your actions, you can ensure that you're living in alignment with your principles. This might mean asking yourself questions like, did I act with integrity today? Was I kind and just in my interactions with others? Did I stay focused on my goals, or did I get distracted by things that don't matter? This kind of reflection keeps you grounded in your values, which strengthens your confidence because you know you're living authentically. One of the most practical ways to incorporate self-reflection into your daily routine is through journaling. Keeping a journal allows you to track your thoughts, actions, and progress over time. It gives you a space to reflect on your experiences, set goals, and analyze your reactions to life's challenges. Many Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, use journaling as a way to practice self-reflection and gain insight into their inner lives. By writing down your reflections each day, you create a record of your growth and a tool for continuous self-improvement. Let's consider an example of how self-reflection can boost confidence. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. In the days leading up to it, you feel anxious and unsure of yourself. Instead of letting those feelings undermine your confidence, you take time to reflect. You ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What's the worst that could happen? What have I done in the past that prepared me for this? Through this process, you realize that you've successfully given presentations before and that your preparation has set you up for success. This self-reflection not only calms your nerves, but also reinforces your belief in your own abilities. In conclusion, practicing self-reflection is a crucial Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. By regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you gain valuable insights into your strengths and weaknesses, which helps you grow and improve. Self-reflection also helps you stay aligned with your values, break negative patterns, and cultivate a mindset that fosters confidence and resilience. Through daily reflection, whether through journaling or simply taking time to think, you can build a deep sense of self-assurance that will guide you through life's challenges. 5. Building resilience. Resilience is one of the most essential qualities for navigating life's challenges with confidence, and it is a central concept in Stoic philosophy. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected events, but how we respond to these challenges determines whether we become stronger or feel defeated. The Stoics teach us that true resilience comes from focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic teaching is at the heart of resilience. While we cannot always control the circumstances we face, whether it's a personal failure, a health issue, or a difficult relationship, Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. We have complete control over how we respond. By choosing to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as insurmountable problems, we build the mental and emotional strength to face adversity with confidence. Building resilience means cultivating the ability to bounce back from difficulties. It's not about avoiding pain or discomfort, but learning to endure them with grace and clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful Stoic principle teaches us that obstacles are not meant to be avoided, but embraced as part of our journey. Each challenge we face provides an opportunity to develop our resilience, grow stronger, and become more confident in our ability to handle future difficulties. Consider a common situation in which resilience is necessary: losing a job. For many, this experience can be overwhelming and lead to feelings of failure, self-doubt, and fear about the future. However, through the lens of Stoicism, losing a job can be seen not as a failure, but as an opportunity for growth and reinvention. The Stoics would advise us to focus on what we can control, our next steps, how we use our time and our mindset, rather than dwelling on the loss itself. By approaching the situation with resilience, we can turn what seems like a setback into a new beginning. Another key aspect of building resilience is accepting that life is unpredictable. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, which involves mentally preparing for worst-case scenarios. By considering what could go wrong, Stoics were better equipped to handle challenges with composure when they arose. This practice doesn't mean dwelling on negativity, but rather acknowledging that hardships are a natural part of life. When you mentally prepare for adversity, you're less likely to be caught off guard and more likely to respond with resilience when difficulties arise. Let's take the example of someone training for a marathon. They know that along the way they will face physical fatigue, injury, or moments of doubt. Instead of fearing these obstacles, they anticipate them and develop strategies to overcome them. Whether it's through physical conditioning, mental toughness, or learning to pace themselves. This is resilience in action. By preparing for challenges and accepting them as part of the process, they build the strength to push through when things get tough. The same principle applies to life. When we build resilience by accepting that setbacks are inevitable, we gain the confidence to face them head-on. Resilience is also about maintaining a positive mindset in the face of adversity. The Stoics believed that our perception of events shapes our experience of them. Seneca said, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." This highlights the power of our thoughts in shaping our reality. When we view challenges as insurmountable, we feel overwhelmed and defeated. But when we see them as opportunities for growth, we approach them with a sense of purpose and resilience. By choosing to maintain a positive outlook, even in difficult times, we build the mental toughness needed to overcome adversity. In addition to mental resilience, the Stoics emphasize the importance of emotional resilience. Life's challenges can trigger a range of emotions: anger, sadness, frustration, or fear. While it's natural to feel these emotions, the Stoics teach us not to let them control our actions. Epictetus advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This means focusing on what you can do and accepting what you cannot change. Emotional resilience involves acknowledging your feelings, but not allowing them to dictate your response. By practicing emotional self-control, you build the resilience to face challenges with calm and clarity. Let's consider a real-life example of resilience. Think about someone who has faced a major setback, such as a serious illness or the loss of a loved one. While these experiences are incredibly painful, those who practice resilience are able to move forward by focusing on what they can control, whether it's taking care of their health, finding support from loved ones, or adjusting to their new reality. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain, but rather accepting it as part of life's journey and using it as fuel to become stronger and more resilient. In conclusion, building resilience is a fundamental Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. Life will inevitably bring challenges, but it's how we respond to those challenges that determines our strength and growth. By focusing on what we can control, accepting adversity as part of life, and maintaining a positive mindset, we can develop the resilience needed to face difficulties with confidence. The Stoics remind us that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and by embracing this mindset, we can build the inner strength to handle whatever life throws our way. 6. Embracing learning and curiosity. One of the key aspects of building confidence in both Stoicism and life in general is fostering a mindset of continuous learning and curiosity. Stoicism teaches us that wisdom is the highest good, and the pursuit of wisdom requires a lifelong commitment to learning, self-improvement, and staying curious about the world around us. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. Rather, it comes from embracing the fact that you're always growing and evolving. Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This Stoic insight highlights the importance of humility in learning. To truly grow and build confidence, we must first recognize that we don't know everything, and that there is always more to learn. When we open ourselves up to new knowledge, we expand our understanding of the world, which strengthens our confidence in our ability to handle new challenges and situations. Embracing curiosity means being open to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. Many people struggle with confidence because they fear the unknown or feel uncertain about their abilities. But Stoicism encourages us to approach life with a sense of wonder and curiosity rather than fear. When we are curious, we see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to learn something new. This mindset shift can dramatically boost our confidence because it transforms how we view uncertainty. Consider someone who is starting a new job in a field they're not entirely familiar with. They might feel nervous or unsure of themselves at first, but by approaching the situation with curiosity and a willingness to learn, they can quickly gain confidence. Instead of worrying about making mistakes, they focus on absorbing as much information as possible, asking questions and learning from their experiences. This openness to learning allows them to build competence, which in turn strengthens their confidence. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations in the Life of a Man, "His time is but a moment, his being an incessant flux, his senses a dim rushlight, his body a prey of worms, his soul a whirl, his fortune dark, and his fame doubtful." In short, all that is of the body is as flowing water, all that belongs to the soul as dreams and vapors. Marcus Aurelius' life is a warfare and a stranger's sojourn, and after fame is oblivion. This passage reflects the Stoic understanding that life is fleeting and uncertain. The more we embrace this uncertainty with curiosity, the more confident we become in our ability to adapt and grow. A core practice in embracing learning is the Stoic concept of continuous self-improvement. The Stoics believed that we should constantly strive to become better versions of ourselves, not for external rewards, but for the sake of our own personal growth. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This quote encapsulates the Stoic belief that learning is a lifelong process. Confidence grows when we commit to this process, knowing that each day brings new opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Another important element of learning and curiosity is the willingness to ask questions and seek out knowledge from others. Many people feel hesitant to ask for help or admit when they don't know something, fearing that it will make them appear weak or incompetent. However, the Stoics recognize that asking questions is a sign of strength, not weakness. Socrates, who greatly influenced Stoicism, was famous for his method of asking probing questions to gain deeper insights and understanding. By adopting this approach, you build confidence in your ability to learn and grow from others. Curiosity also involves a willingness to challenge your own beliefs. Confidence isn't about rigidly holding on to your current perspective. It's about being open to new ideas and being willing to change your mind when presented with new evidence. The Stoics taught that wisdom involves constantly questioning and refining your beliefs. This doesn't mean that you should constantly doubt yourself, but rather that you should remain flexible and open to growth. By staying curious and adaptable, you strengthen your confidence because you're not afraid of change. You embrace it as part of the learning process. Let's consider a practical example of how curiosity can build confidence. Imagine you're learning a new skill like playing a musical instrument or learning a new language. At first you might feel awkward or uncertain, but by staying curious and practicing regularly, you gradually improve. Each time you learn something new or master a small challenge, your confidence grows. This principle applies to all areas of life. Whether it's learning a new skill, exploring a different perspective, or simply staying open to new experiences, curiosity fuels growth, and growth builds confidence. In addition to external learning, Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of learning about yourself. This involves regular self-reflection and a commitment to understanding your thoughts, emotions, and motivations. The more you learn about yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, values, and goals, the more confident you become in navigating life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius urged us to look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. By turning inward and gaining self-knowledge, we build a foundation of inner confidence that is not easily shaken by external circumstances. In conclusion, embracing learning and curiosity is a powerful Stoic lesson for building confidence. By staying open to new ideas, continuously seeking knowledge, and viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, we develop the inner strength to face life's uncertainties with confidence. Stoicism teaches us that confidence is not about knowing everything, but about being willing to learn and grow each day. When we adopt a mindset of curiosity, we become more adaptable, resilient, and confident in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. 7. Practicing mindfulness and presence in today's fast-paced world. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of daily life, always thinking about the past, worrying about the future, or getting distracted by endless to-do lists. Stoicism teaches us the importance of being fully present in the moment and practicing mindfulness to cultivate confidence and peace of mind. When we are truly present, we're able to focus on what matters most, and we gain clarity that strengthens our confidence. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It means being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without getting lost in them. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of staying present when he wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This Stoic teaching reminds us that we can only truly live in the present moment. Everything else, whether it's the future or the past, is beyond our control. By focusing on the present, we free ourselves from the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with calm and confidence. Many people struggle with confidence because they are constantly worried about what might happen in the future. They fear failure, rejection, or uncertainty, and these fears cause them to lose focus on the present. But Stoicism teaches us that the future is not something we can control, and by worrying about it, we only create unnecessary stress. Epictetus said, "He who is not content with what he has would not be content with what he would like to have." This quote highlights the importance of contentment and mindfulness. By focusing on what we have and what we are doing right now, we cultivate inner peace and confidence. Mindfulness is also about being fully engaged with what you're doing. When you give your full attention to the task at hand, whether it's a conversation, a work project, or simply enjoying a meal, you're more likely to do it well and feel confident in your abilities. The Stoics believed in the power of intentional action, and practicing mindfulness helps you approach everything you do with greater focus and purpose. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." This Stoic wisdom reminds us that when we are distracted or scattered, we lose our ability to act with clarity and confidence. By being fully present, we bring our best self to every situation. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work, but you're feeling anxious about how it will go. Your mind races with thoughts like, what if I forget my lines? What if they don't like it? This kind of thinking pulls you out of the present moment and undermines your confidence. But by practicing mindfulness, you can refocus your attention on the task at hand. Instead of worrying about what might happen, you concentrate on what you can control: your preparation, your breathing, and your delivery. This presence of mind allows you to stay calm and confident during the presentation, no matter the outcome. The Stoics also believed that mindfulness helps us manage our emotions more effectively. When we are present, we can observe our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reflects the Stoic belief that while we can't control what happens around us, we can control how we respond. Practicing mindfulness allows us to notice when emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety arise and choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. This emotional awareness builds confidence because it empowers us to navigate difficult situations with composure. Another important aspect of mindfulness is practicing gratitude for the present moment. The Stoics taught that we should appreciate what we have right now, rather than constantly striving for more or wishing things were different. Epictetus advised, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." By cultivating gratitude for the present, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. This shift not only brings a sense of peace, but also strengthens our confidence because it helps us feel content and fulfilled in the moment. Mindfulness also helps us become more aware of our thoughts and how they shape our reality. The Stoics believe that our thoughts determine how we experience life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When we practice mindfulness, we become more conscious of the thoughts that run through our minds. This awareness allows us to challenge negative thoughts and replace them with more empowering ones. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle this," mindfulness gives you the space to question those thoughts and reframe them in a more positive light. Over time, this practice strengthens your confidence because it shifts your mindset to one of self-belief and resilience. A simple way to practice mindfulness is through breathing exercises. By focusing on your breath, you bring yourself back to the present moment and calm your mind. This can be particularly helpful in moments of stress or anxiety. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths and focus solely on the sensation of breathing in and out. This practice anchors you in the present and helps you regain your composure, allowing you to approach the situation with greater clarity and confidence. In conclusion, practicing mindfulness and presence is a powerful Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. When we stay present and fully engaged in the moment, we're able to focus on what truly matters and let go of distractions and worries that undermine our confidence. Mindfulness helps us manage our emotions, cultivate gratitude, and challenge negative thoughts, all of which contribute to a greater sense of self-assurance. By practicing mindfulness, we build the mental and emotional strength to face life's challenges with calm and confidence. 8. Clear vision. One of the most important aspects of building confidence, according to Stoic philosophy, is having a clear vision of your goals and values. Stoicism teaches us that confidence stems from knowing where we are headed and why. Without a clear vision, we can easily become lost, distracted, or uncertain about our direction in life. A clear sense of purpose helps guide our decisions, actions, and priorities, giving us the confidence to move forward with certainty. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wrote, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse toward are wasting their time, even when hard at work." This Stoic wisdom emphasizes the importance of clarity in one's purpose. Working hard is not enough. We must know what we are working toward. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and the values that guide your life, every action becomes more meaningful. Confidence grows from the understanding that you are on a path that aligns with your beliefs and long-term goals. Having a clear vision also helps eliminate distractions. Life is full of noise and competing demands for our attention. Whether it's social media, societal expectations, or the opinions of others, it's easy to get pulled in many directions, losing focus on what truly matters. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This advice reflects the importance of clarity. By defining who you are and what you want, you can stay focused on what matters most, rather than getting sidetracked by things that don't contribute to your goals. Imagine someone who is working hard but doesn't have a clear vision for their future. They might jump from one project to another, constantly seeking external validation or chasing fleeting goals. Without a clear sense of direction, it's difficult to build confidence because they are unsure whether their efforts are leading them towards success. On the other hand, someone with a clear vision of their goals and values knows exactly what they are working toward. Every decision and action they take is aligned with that vision, which builds a deep sense of confidence because they know they are on the right path. Clarity of vision also helps us make better decisions. When we are clear about our goals and values, it becomes easier to weigh options and choose the path that aligns with our long-term success. Seneca wrote, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." This quote illustrates that without a clear destination, even opportunities can become obstacles. Confidence comes from knowing where you want to go and being able to navigate life's challenges with a clear sense of direction. Let's consider a practical example of how having a clear vision boosts confidence. Imagine you're deciding whether to accept a job offer that offers more money, but conflicts with your values or long-term goals. If you have a clear vision of what you want in life, whether it's meaningful work, a healthy work-life balance, or alignment with your personal ethics, you can confidently turn down the offer, knowing that it doesn't serve your larger purpose. Without that clarity, you might feel conflicted, worried about missing out on a financial opportunity, or uncertain about what to prioritize. Having a clear vision eliminates doubt and allows you to make decisions with confidence. Self-reflection is key to developing a clear vision. The Stoics believed that understanding yourself, your values, goals, and priorities is essential to living a life of purpose. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on his own values and reminded himself of what was truly important in life. This practice helped him stay focused on his goals and maintain clarity in his decisions, even in the face of external pressures. By taking time to reflect on your own life, you can gain a clearer understanding of what matters to you and how to align your actions with your vision. One of the most powerful tools for developing a clear vision is the Stoic practice of visualization. This involves imagining your ideal future, who you want to be, what you want to achieve, and how you want to live. By regularly visualizing your goals, you reinforce your sense of purpose and gain clarity about the steps you need to take to get there. Visualization is not just about daydreaming, it's about creating a clear mental map of your future and using that map to guide your actions in the present. Another important aspect of clarity is knowing your values. Your values are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and behavior. When you are clear about your values, whether it's integrity, kindness, ambition, or creativity, you can confidently make choices that align with those principles. This alignment between your values and your actions builds confidence because you know you are living authentically. Epictetus encouraged his students to live in accordance with their values, saying, "We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control?" By focusing on what is within your control, your values, choices, and actions, you gain clarity and confidence in your ability to shape your life. In conclusion, having a clear vision is a crucial Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. When you know where you're headed and why, you gain the focus and direction needed to navigate life's challenges with certainty. Clarity helps eliminate distractions, make better decisions, and stay true to your values. By practicing self-reflection, visualization, and staying connected to your core values, you can develop a clear vision that serves as a compass for your life. This clarity not only strengthens your confidence, but also ensures that you're living a life aligned with your purpose and goals. 9. Positive mindset. A positive mindset is a cornerstone of confidence, and it is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that our thoughts shape our reality, and by cultivating a positive and constructive mindset, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience and confidence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote captures the essence of a Stoic approach to confidence. When you master your mind, you master your life. Many people believe that confidence comes from external success or validation, but Stoicism teaches that true confidence starts from within, with the thoughts we choose to focus on. If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, self-doubt, or fear, it becomes difficult to feel confident in your abilities or decisions. On the other hand, a positive mindset, one that focuses on what you can control, sees challenges as opportunities for growth, and embraces a sense of optimism, fosters the inner strength needed to face life with confidence. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic teaching highlights the importance of mindset in shaping our experience of life. You cannot always control external circumstances, whether it's a personal failure, a setback at work, or a difficult relationship. But you can control how you interpret and respond to these events. When you choose to view challenges as opportunities for learning and growth, rather than as obstacles, you build the confidence to face adversity with resilience and optimism. One of the most practical ways to develop a positive mindset is through reframing. Reframing is the practice of consciously shifting your perspective on a situation, especially when it seems negative or overwhelming. The Stoics believed in the power of perception. By changing how we see things, we change our experience of them. For example, instead of viewing a mistake as a failure, you can reframe it as a learning opportunity. This simple shift in perspective transforms how you feel about the situation and boosts your confidence, because it empowers you to see yourself as capable of growth and improvement. Let's consider a common scenario where reframing can be helpful. Public speaking. Many people feel anxious or fearful about speaking in front of others because they worry about being judged or making mistakes. But by applying a Stoic mindset, you can reframe the situation. Instead of focusing on the potential for failure, you can view the experience as an opportunity to practice your skills and share your ideas with others. This shift in perspective reduces fear and helps you approach the situation with more confidence and positivity. Seneca also emphasized the importance of focusing on what is within your control. He wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." This Stoic wisdom teaches us that when we focus on the present moment and what we can control right now, we free ourselves from the anxiety of worrying about the future or regretting the past. A positive mindset is rooted in the present, where we have the power to take action, make decisions, and move forward with confidence. Another key element of a positive mindset is gratitude. The Stoics believed that cultivating gratitude helped shift our focus away from what we lack or what has gone wrong and toward what we already have and what is going well. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the simple things he was grateful for: his health, his relationships, and the opportunity to serve others. By practicing gratitude, we train our minds to see the positive aspects of life, even in difficult times. This practice strengthens our confidence because it reminds us of our resources, strengths, and support systems, which help us navigate challenges with greater ease. Developing a positive mindset also involves managing negative thoughts. The Stoics were keenly aware of the impact of negative thinking on our well-being and confidence. Epictetus advised, "And when you are offended at any man's fault, Turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. This quote reflects the Stoic belief in self-awareness and self-discipline. When negative thoughts arise, whether they are thoughts of anger, fear, or self-doubt, it's important to pause and examine them. Are these thoughts helpful? Are they based on reality? Or are they distorted by fear or insecurity? By questioning and challenging negative thoughts, you can replace them with more constructive and empowering ones. Let's consider how this applies to a work situation. Imagine you've been given a challenging project at work, and your first reaction is to think, "I'm not capable of handling this, I'm going to fail." This negative thought undermines your confidence and sets you up for anxiety. But by practicing a positive mindset, you can challenge that thought. You might remind yourself of past successes, the skills you've developed, and the resources available to help you succeed. This shift in thinking boosts your confidence because it focuses on your strengths and the opportunities the project offers for growth. A positive mindset is also about acceptance, accepting that life will bring both successes and failures, and that both are valuable parts of the journey. Seneca taught that we should welcome adversity as a chance to grow stronger. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." When you accept that challenges are a natural part of life, you become more resilient and confident in your ability to handle them. Instead of fearing failure, you see it as a stepping stone towards success. In conclusion, cultivating a positive mindset is a fundamental Stoic lesson for building confidence. By focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude, reframing negative situations, and accepting challenges as opportunities for growth, you develop a mindset that empowers you to face life with optimism and strength. The Stoics remind us that our thoughts shape our reality, and when we choose to focus on the positive aspects of life, we build the confidence to navigate any challenge that comes our way. 10. Leadership skills. Leadership is often associated with authority, charisma, and decision-making, but Stoic philosophy offers a deeper understanding of what it means to be a true leader. The Stoics believed that real leadership is not about commanding others, but about guiding with wisdom, integrity, and humility. Leadership in the Stoic sense begins with self-leadership, the ability to govern your own actions, thoughts, and emotions before influencing those of others. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This principle is at the core of Stoic leadership. To lead others effectively, you must first master yourself. The foundation of Stoic leadership is self-discipline. A leader who cannot control their emotions or reactions is easily swayed by external pressures and can quickly lose the respect of those they lead. By practicing self-control and emotional regulation, Stoic leaders demonstrate resilience even in the face of adversity. This calm and composed demeanor inspires confidence in others, as it shows that the leader is grounded and capable of handling difficult situations with grace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic leaders, exemplified this through his personal writings in Meditations. He constantly reminded himself to stay calm, think clearly, and act justly, no matter the circumstances. Another key element of Stoic leadership is integrity. A Stoic leader leads by example, ensuring that their actions align with their values and principles. They do not say one thing and do another. Instead, they live their values consistently, which earns them the trust and respect of others. Seneca wrote, "You must live for others if you wish to live for yourself." This quote reflects the Stoic idea that leadership is not about personal gain or power, but about serving others and acting in the best interest of those you lead. When a leader is guided by strong ethical principles, they inspire others to follow suit, creating a culture of honesty and integrity. Let's consider a modern example. Imagine a manager at a company who always strives to make decisions based on fairness and integrity. Even when faced with difficult choices, such as layoffs or budget cuts, they communicate openly and honestly with their team, ensuring that their actions are transparent and aligned with their values. This kind of leadership builds trust because the team knows that their leader is making decisions that are not only rational but also ethical. This trust in turn boosts the leader's confidence as they know they are acting with integrity regardless of external pressures. Humility is another crucial trait of a Stoic leader. Unlike many traditional views of leadership that emphasize authority or dominance, the Stoics believed that humility is essential for effective leadership. Epictetus advised, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This quote emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and humility in leadership. A Stoic leader doesn't pretend to know everything or have all the answers. Instead, they recognize their limitations, seek advice from others, and are open to learning. This humility not only makes them more approachable, but also creates an environment where others feel valued and heard. One of the most important aspects of Stoic leadership is the ability to remain unmoved by praise or criticism. Stoics believe that both praise and criticism are external judgments that are beyond our control. A strong leader doesn't let praise inflate their ego or let criticism diminish their confidence. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This means that a Stoic leader accepts feedback without becoming overly attached to external opinions. They remain focused on their values and goals rather than being swayed by what others think. This emotional resilience strengthens their leadership because it allows them to stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. A Stoic leader also cultivates empathy and compassion. While Stoicism is often misunderstood as being emotionless, the philosophy actually encourages leaders to understand and consider the emotions of others without being controlled by their own emotions. Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This teaching reminds leaders to act with empathy and compassion, especially in difficult situations, by understanding the needs and feelings of those they lead. Stoic leaders can make more informed and considerate decisions, which fosters loyalty and respect from their team. In practice, this might look like a leader taking the time to listen to their team's concerns during a stressful project. Instead of brushing off their worries or focusing solely on results, the Stoic leader would recognize the value of addressing emotional and practical needs alike. This balance of empathy with rational decision-making strengthens the team and creates a positive, productive environment. Lastly, Stoic leadership emphasizes the importance of serving others. Leadership is not about personal glory or power, but about using your position to help others grow and succeed. Epictetus taught that we should strive to be useful to others and contribute to the greater good. This selfless approach to leadership builds confidence because it shifts the focus from self-interest to service. When you know that your actions are helping others and making a positive impact, you feel a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment, which boosts your confidence as a leader. In conclusion, leadership skills rooted in Stoic philosophy involve much more than authority and decision-making. Stoic leaders cultivate self-discipline, act with integrity, practice humility, and remain emotionally resilient in the face of praise or criticism. They lead with empathy, understanding the needs of those they serve, and focus on making decisions that benefit the greater good. By mastering yourself and serving others with wisdom and compassion, you develop the confidence to lead effectively, no matter the challenges that arise. Thanks so much for joining me in today's episode. Remember, confidence isn't something that happens overnight, but with the right mindset and a few Stoic practices, you can build it day by day. The more we focus on what really matters, control our reactions, and live according to our values, the more we'll find that inner confidence we all need. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Let's keep growing together. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always up to date with new content. See you in the next episode. When we lose something meaningful, our first instinct is often to find a substitute, something that fills the space without requiring us to change to grow. But it's like trying to fit a puzzle piece that doesn't belong. It might look all right from a distance, but up close they can feel the emptiness it's covering up. They might go out more, post on social media, and show off their new connections as if they're living their best life. But remember, this isn't about you. It's about their inability to sit with their own discomfort. They're hiding behind this show, hoping to convince themselves that they've moved past you. But it's just that, a show, and the deeper truth, you can't replace something real with something temporary. They're putting up a front, hoping to shield themselves from the sting of regret, but inside they're struggling with the emptiness that new faces and temporary distractions can't cure. Seeing this, you might start questioning your own worth. You might wonder if you meant anything at all, if it's that easy for them to replace you. But remember, this isn't a reflection of you, it's a reflection of their fear. They're afraid of facing the void you left behind. They're afraid of the silence. So instead of confronting it, they run to someone new, hoping that person can fill a space that only you once occupied. If you need an affirmation, keep this one close. I am irreplaceable. My value cannot be duplicated or substituted. Say it with conviction every time doubt tries to creep in. This journey is about uncovering the truth, and right now their actions are revealing that they're not ready to face it. Some people would rather cover their pain with a temporary fix than confront the real loss. They'll hide behind someone new, hoping the emptiness will fade, but it never truly does. And if they don't come to this realization on their own, then you'll know deep down they were never capable of valuing you fully in the first place. So you hold on to that affirmation. You remind yourself that their actions don't define your worth. If they're running to someone new, let that be their journey, their coping mechanism, their distraction. Because the truth of a real connection, it can't be swapped out. And every time they try, every time they look to someone else to fill the gap, they're reminded of what they lost. It's like trying to cover a wound without letting it heal, and no matter how much they try to ignore it, the ache of that emptiness will follow them. As the philosopher Alain de Botton once put it, people only get truly interesting when they start to rattle the bars of their cages. But instead of breaking free from the cage of their own denial, they're staying inside it, hoping that a new face will distract them from the truth. They're avoiding the discomfort, refusing to see the value of what they lost. And that's their journey to take, not yours. Now we're moving to a new phase, the unraveling. This is when things start to break down for them and reality begins to set in. At first they thought they could keep going as if nothing changed. But without the stability you provided, without the constant reassurance of your presence, their world starts to crack. You see, you weren't just someone who showed up. You were their anchor, their constant, the foundation they unknowingly leaned on. And now that foundation is gone and the cracks are beginning to show. It's as if they're trying to hold water in their hands, but no matter how tightly they squeeze, it slips away. At this point, they may feel like they're holding things together, but beneath the surface, there's no water. It's all coming undone. And the distractions they use to fill the void, they're starting to feel empty, meaningless. They're realizing that the world they created without you isn't as solid as they once thought. In the quiet moments, they start feeling that emptiness even more. Their friendships might start feeling hollow, or their daily routines lose their meaning. There's a sense of restlessness, a lack of focus, because they no longer have that sense of stability you brought into their life. You grounded them, even if they never appreciated it. And now they're lost, floating, trying to find their footing without that anchor. This is when they start to feel the full weight of their choices. When they're forced to confront the mess they created, their world is beginning to crumble piece by piece, and there's no distraction strong enough to keep the emptiness at bay. They start to feel as if something's missing, and that something was you. It's the quiet realization that the stability they once took for granted is gone, and they're left to face the consequences. It's easy to feel sympathy at this stage, to feel the urge to step back in and help, to be that support again. But remember, this is their journey. They need to experience this unraveling, this realization without you swooping in to save them. This is the only way they'll understand the full weight of what they lost. Stepping in now would only take away the clarity they're starting to gain. Hold on to this affirmation. I am the stability they lost, but my strength is my own. Remind yourself of this whenever you feel the urge to help them, to ease their pain. They need to face this journey alone, to experience the reality of their actions without the safety net you once provided. This is your time to grow, to stand tall, to become stronger than ever. we're getting closer to the heart of this journey, and the truth is about to reveal itself even more. There's still more to come as they continue to feel the weight of your absence, as their world continues to crumble. So hold on, because this isn't over yet. The real understanding, the full impact of what they lost, is still waiting for them. And soon enough, they won't be able to ignore it. Stay tuned, because as they struggle in the silence, the final truths will begin to unfold, and their real feelings will come to the surface in ways they can't hide. Let's continue. Absolutely, let's bring this journey to its final stages. This is where the silence becomes a force they can no longer ignore. A void that keeps growing, a realization that finally sinks in. They've tried to mask it, to run from it, to distract themselves. But now all those defenses are fading, and they're left in silence. A silence that feels like a void, a hollow space that they can't fill. Imagine it like this. They're alone with nothing but the echo of your absence, and it's starting to become deafening. The connections they tried to create, the people they used as substitutes, the shows they put on to appear fine, none of it can touch the emptiness they feel now. There's no escaping the ache, the awareness that they had something precious, something irreplaceable, and they let it slip away. This void, it's not the loud, dramatic kind of pain. It's a quiet, relentless ache that only deepens with time. It's a reminder every single day of what they lost. At first they thought they could just push past it, that it would fade. But now each day without you brings them closer to a truth they can't ignore. They're struggling in a space where your presence once was. No matter where they turn, they're met with a sense of emptiness, a reminder of what they threw away. Picture them lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, with no messages lighting up their phone, no comforting reminder of your care. It's in these quiet moments, these still pauses, where they feel it the most. It's when they're alone, stripped of all the distractions, that the ache of your absence grows strongest. They might try to cover it up, keep busy, but this silence is everywhere, following them around. A constant reminder of what they let slip through their fingers. And here's where you might feel tempted to reach out, to ask if they're all right, to ease their pain just a bit. But remember, this silence is their journey, not yours. They need to feel this void fully to understand the weight of their choices without you stepping in. Saving them from this silence would only take away the lesson that they need to learn. If they truly cared, if they truly valued you, this silence is going to resonate with them. It's going to dig deep, stirring up feelings they tried to bury, feelings they can no longer ignore. If there was love there, real love, this void will push them to face it. They'll start to realize they lost something they can't find in anyone else. But if they don't care, if they can make it through this silence unaffected, then that clarity, that understanding is a gift to you. It's a powerful choice, a decision to respect yourself enough to step back and let them face the reality of what they created. Now we're approaching the end, the breaking point. After all the masks, all the distractions, all the attempts to fill the void, they've arrived at a moment where they can no longer ignore the truth. They face a choice. Confront what they've lost, take responsibility and grow, or stay trapped in denial, letting regret weigh them down indefinitely. For some, this is where the pain becomes overwhelming. They spiral, weighed down by guilt, by the loss of something they now realize was irreplaceable. They start to see that the regret, the emptiness, the ache isn't going away. It's a permanent feeling, a constant reminder of what they let go. Every attempt to move past it only brings them back to the same realization. They lost something real, something they'll never find again. Others, however, may choose a different path. They might finally see your absence as a wake-up call, as a moment of clarity. They're hit with a realization that maybe, just maybe, they have a chance to confront what they lost, to understand where they went wrong, to become a better version of themselves. It's like reaching a fork in the road. They can either let the regret consume them or use it as a moment of growth. This is where Marcus Aurelius' words ring true. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your silence was their obstacle, their wake-up call, forcing them to choose either to evolve or to remain stagnant. If they break through, it's because they've allowed themselves to learn from their mistakes. If they break down, it's because they're unwilling to face the truth of their own actions. And here's the beauty of this final stage. Whichever path they choose, you're no longer tied to it. You've done your part by stepping back, by letting them face their own reality. Their journey, their growth, or lack thereof, is no longer your responsibility. You've given them the space to confront themselves, to grow, or to stay the same. But you've grown. You've reclaimed your strength, your worth, your independence. So for this final affirmation, take a deep breath and say, I am free now. You're stepping into a new chapter, one where your value isn't dependent on someone else's recognition, where your strength isn't defined by anyone's approval. You've come out of this journey with clarity, confidence, and a new understanding of your own worth. Whether they realize what they lost or not, you've gained something far more valuable: self-respect, strength, and independence. And as you move forward, you're free to create a life that reflects the true worth you've always held. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things. Thus death is nothing terrible, else it would have appeared so to Socrates. But the terror consists in our notion of death, that it is terrible. When therefore we are hindered or disturbed or grieved, let us never impute it to others, but to ourselves, that is, to our own views. It is the action of an uninstructed person to reproach others for his own misfortunes, of one entering upon instruction to reproach himself, and of one perfectly instructed to reproach neither others or himself. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. For what prevents us from saying that the happy life is to have a mind that is free, lofty, fearless, and steadfast, a mind that is placed beyond the reach of fear, beyond the reach of desire, that counts virtue the only good, baseness the only evil, and all else but a worthless mass of things which come and go without increasing or diminishing the highest good, and neither subtracting any part from the happy life, nor add any part to it. A man thus grounded must, whether he wills or not, necessarily be attended by constant cheerfulness, and a joy that is deep and issues from deep within, since he finds delight in his own resources, and desires no joys greater than his inner joys. When someone wrongs you, ask yourself what made him do it. Once you understand his concept of good and evil, you'll feel sorry for him and cease to either be amazed or angry. If his concept is similar to yours, then you will be bound to forgive him, since you would have acted as he did in similar circumstances. But if you do not share his ideas of good and evil, then you should find it easier to overlook the wrongs of someone who is confused and in a moral muddle. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. Don't seek to have events happen as you wish. Learn but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well with you. God has entrusted me with myself. No man is free who is not master of himself. A man should live so that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. Know you not that a good man does nothing for appearance sake, but for the sake of having done right? If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to what others think, you will never be rich. All cruelty springs from weakness. Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head. Of how much time has already gone by, you take no heed. You squander time as if you drew from a full and abundant supply, though all the while that day which you bestow on some person or thing is perhaps your last. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. Begin each day by telling yourself, I shall be met with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. But for my part, I have long perceived the nature of good and its nobility, the nature of evil and its meanness, and also the nature of the culprit himself, who is my brother. Not in the physical sense, but as a fellow creature similarly endowed with reason and a share of the divine. Therefore, none of those things can injure me. For nobody can implicate me in what is degrading, neither can I be angry with my brother or fall foul of him. For he and I were born to work together, like a man's 2 hands, feet or eyelids, or the upper and lower rows of his teeth. To obstruct each other is against nature's law, and what is irritation or aversion but a form of obstruction? If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. It seems to often do more harm than good to live in resentment and disdain for the world around us. The world we find ourselves in, its past and present, its people, and the rise and fall of its cultures and practices are all the way they are. They are not the way we personally want them to be. When we resist the reality of the world around us and instead project onto it our expectation about how the world should be, we are often met with a certain level of internal resistance. Resistance that can cause us to suffer, and the greater the distance between reality and our expectation, the greater the resistance. The world is what it is. It is not what we expect it to be. Learn to accept life. Learn to love fate and all that it brings. This is the Stoic principle of amor fati, to love fate. After all, fate has given us the ability to live and to experience life. Unfortunately, amor fati often gets confused with a passive, defeatist acceptance of the world around us. To accept the wrongs of the world and to lie down as we observe the passing of things we don't agree with, or the wrongdoing we see being committed. But I believe this is a misunderstanding of the Stoic principle. Acceptance of reality does not mean to submit to it. It is simply learning the ability to see it objectively and accepting that in this moment that is the state of the world. It is the ability to look at the things around us clearly, not through the lens of our own bias and expectations. In doing so, we are better able to understand the situations around us. The reality of the situations we find ourselves in, unblinded by the lens of our own bias and expectations. We then are able to more clearly understand what is within our control and what is not, and then look to leverage that control to effect change first in ourselves, and then, if possible, in the world around us for the better. Whenever you feel anger towards a person, think of what led them to behave in such a way. It is all too easy for us to pass judgment from our own perspective, but it is a very different thing to try and put yourself in the shoes of the wrongdoer and try to understand what hardship they have gone through, what burden they might carry, or how life has treated them leading up to the moment which you found so offensive. Most people are trying to do the best they can with what they have. And while we all are responsible for our actions, there is often a line to draw between a person's experience and their behavior. To me, one of the great ironies of life is a man's desire to find comfort, to remove all sources of hardship and suffering in favor of comfort when applied to our core needs like food, shelter, security, and companionship. Comfort and stability to me do make sense, but when it exceeds to every corner of our lives, comfort and the removal of all hardship seems to me to bring with it its own brand of hardship. Instead of putting ourselves into the unknown, expanding our comfort zone and learning to deal with the adversity that comes with it, excessive comfort seems to risk the opposite. It erodes our resilience to hardship, can breed purposelessness, apathy, sloth, and the host of limitations that come with a shrinking comfort circle. It seems to me that one of the lesser thought of challenges of modern life is to balance the comfort that comes when our base needs are met with the voluntary hardship that is needed to make sure that comfort doesn't soften our resolve. The ancient Stoics advocated voluntary hardship. Marcus Aurelius chose to sleep on an uncomfortable bed. Seneca chose to swim in rivers in the dead of winter. Both men were all too aware of the risks of becoming too comfortable and the benefits of adding discomfort to one's life. Day to day, we often distance ourselves from death, often thinking that it is something that happens to others or to us many, many years from now. But the truth is that death is at our shoulder every day, an ever-present fact of life. Today may very well be your last. Living with this as a reminder brings with it a deep gratitude for many of the things we take for granted, knowing that whatever it is may be one of the last few times we are able to experience it. Whether that be sound of leaves in the wind, the company of those we love, or simply the taste of good food. To the Stoics, this was the practice of Memento Mori, the practice of remembering death. The nature of life is changed from the very first shifts of the universe. The most simple of elements gathered together to produce clouds and then solid bodies. Bodies that began to form the very first ingredients for life. Those ingredients formed life, the circle of birth and death, until eventually they came together in the exact configuration needed to create you and me. Like the beginning, the peak, and the crashing end of a wave, our lives are simply part of a grander cycle. We are formed, we experience, and we end. And with our end comes the opportunity for the reconfiguration of our atoms to allow another to come and go, and to enjoy the experience of life, and so on forever. The nature of the entire universe is change from the very big to the very small. Lives are often not made better in the accomplishments of lofty goals or the collection of expensive things, so much as they are improved by the small day-to-day changes of one's habits, the decisions to wake up a little earlier, get out of the house a little more often, go for a run, read that book that's been gathering dust, or try to be more present in the company of the things and people we love. While of course great achievements do contribute to it, habits built over time, not short bursts of joy, are often the paving stones to a happier life. There is a delicate balance to be had when looking to the future and the past. The future is necessary for long-term planning and preparation for events that seem likely to happen. However, look too long towards the horizon, and it's easy to let life slip by and miss the very thing you've spent all that time planning and preparing for. Similarly, the past can be used as a tool to learn, but looking back to what was may also mean that you missed the life into which you've taken all the lessons of the past. The future can be used to plan and prepare. The past can be used to learn, but life only happens in the present. When I meet death, as we all must do, the time and place will be largely outside of my control. If tomorrow, then I will die tomorrow, and if a year from now or 20 years from now, then I will meet it then. It is in the very nature of a living thing to die, regardless of how much we resist it. However, for now I am alive. So I will put to use what is within my control and decide what to do with the time that is given to me. I am not soothing you or making light of your misfortune. If fate can be overcome by tears, let us bring tears to bear upon it. Let every day be passed in mourning, every night be spent in sorrow instead of sleep. Let your breast be torn by your own hands, your very face attacked by them, and every kind of cruelty be practiced by your grief, if it will profit you. But if the dead cannot be brought back to life, however much we may beat our breasts, if destiny remains fixed and immovable forever, not to be changed by any sorrow, however great, and death does not loose his hold on anything that he has once taken away, then let our futile grief be brought to an end. Let us then steer our own course, and no longer allow ourselves to be driven to leeward by the force of our misfortune. He is a sorry pilot who lets the waves wring his rudder from his grasp, who leaves the sails to fly loose and abandons the ship to the storm. But he who boldly grasps the helm and clings to it until the sea closes over him deserves praise. Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. I begin to speak only when I'm certain what I'll say isn't better left unsaid. All Hellenistic schools seem to define wisdom in approximately the same terms, first and foremost as a state of perfect peace of mind. From this viewpoint, philosophy appears as a remedy for human worries, anguish, and misery brought about for the cynics by social constraints and conventions, for the Epicureans by the quest for false pleasures, for the Stoics by the pursuit of pleasure and egotistic self-interest, and for the skeptics by false opinions. Whether or not they lay claim to the Socratic heritage, all Hellenistic philosophers agreed with Socrates that human beings are plunged into misery, anguish, and evil because they exist in ignorance. Evil is to be found not within things, but in the value judgments which people bring to bear upon things. People can therefore be cured of their ills only if they are persuaded to change their value judgments. And in this sense, all these philosophies wanted to be therapeutic. Simplicity, patience, compassion. These three are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate towards yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. Taoism is the art of being in the world, for it deals with the present ourselves. It is in us that God meets with nature, and yesterday parts from tomorrow. The present is the moving infinity, the legitimate sphere of the relative. Relativity seeks adjustment. Adjustment is art. The art of life lies in a constant readjustment to our surroundings. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Let your eyes see what they see, not what others want you to see. Let your ears hear what they naturally hear, not what others want you to hear. Let your mouth speak your mind freely, and not be constrained by other people's approval or disapproval. Let your mind think what it wants to think, and not let other people's demands dictate your thoughts. If your senses and your mind are not allowed to do what they want to do naturally, you are denying them their rights. When you cannot think, sense, feel, or act freely, then your body and mind are injured. Break these oppressions and you will cultivate life. Be careful what you water your dreams with. Water them with worry and fear, and you will produce weeds that choke the life from your dreams. Water them with optimism and solutions, and you will cultivate success. Always be on the lookout for ways to turn a problem into an opportunity for success. Always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dream. Strength should always be complemented by softness. If you resist too much, you will break. Thus, the strong person knows when to use strength and when to yield, and good fortune and disaster depend on whether you know how and when to yield. Those who do not know how to suffer are the worst off. There are times when the only thing we can do is to bear our troubles until a better day. To solve a problem, you need to remove the cause, not the symptom. To know and to think we know not is the crown. To not know and to think we know is the affliction. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If a branch is too rigid, it will break. Resist and you will perish. Know how to yield and you will survive. Only he who has no use for the empire is fit to be entrusted with it. At the center of your being you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward into whatever way they like. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. A person with a mind is bound to be filled with conceptions. These conceptions prevent him from knowing things directly, so a person with a mind shall never really know. Trying to explain Zen is like trying to catch wind in a box. The moment you close the lid, it ceases to be wind and in time becomes stagnant air. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. When you are content to simply be yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. The fact is that those who do not see themselves, but who see others, who fail to get a grasp of themselves, but who grasp others, take possessions of what others have but fail to possess themselves. They are attracted to what others enjoy, but fail to find enjoyment in themselves. If you play a game where scrap pieces of glass are at stake, you will play skillfully. If your expensive belt buckle is at stake, you'll start to get clumsy. If it's your money that's at stake, you'll fumble. It's not that you've lost your skill, it's because you're so flustered by things happening outside that you've lost your calmness inside, lose your stillness, and you will fail in everything you do. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. A man like this will not go where he has no will to go, will not do what he has no mind to do. Though the world might praise him and say he had really found something, he would look unconcerned and never turn his head. Though the world might condemn him and say he has lost something, he would look serene and pay no heed. The praise and blame of the world are no loss or gain to him. Things joined by profit when pressed by misfortune and danger will cast each other aside. Let your mind wander in simplicity. Blend your spirit with the vastness, follow along with things the way they are, and make no room for personal views. Then the world will be governed. A beam or pillar can be used to batter down a city wall, but it is no good for stopping up a little hole. This refers to a difference in function. Thoroughbreds like Kiji or Huali could gallop 1,000 li in one day, but when it came to catching rats, they were no match for the wild cat or the weasel. This refers to a difference in skill. The horned owl catches fleas at night and can spot the tip of a hair. But when daylight comes, no matter how wide it opens its eyes, it cannot see a mound or a hill. This refers to a difference in nature. Now do you say that you are going to make right your master and do away with wrong, or make order your master and do away with disorder? If you do, then you have not understood the principle of heaven and earth, or the nature of the 10,000 things. This is like saying that you are going to make heaven your master and do away with earth, or make yin your master and do away with yang. Obviously, it is impossible. We may be floating on Tao, but there is nothing wrong with steering. If Tao is like a river, it is certainly good to know where the rocks are. Great power is worry and total power is boredom, such that even God renounces it and pretends instead that he is people and fish and insects and plants, the myth of the king who goes wandering among his subjects in disguise.